Hello grade 9 students. We go now to our next lesson, which is all about the operations on radicals. So the first topics for this is adding and subtracting radical expressions. So how do we add and subtract radical expressions? So before we can answer that question, let us first have a warm-up. Number 1, simplify each expression. 14x plus 15y minus 12y plus x. What's your answer? The answer is 15x plus 3y. Correct. So in this number, you just add the similar terms, right? Similar terms. 14x plus x is 15x. 15y minus 12y is 3y, positive 3y. Alright, number 2. 9xy plus 2xy minus 8xy. What's the answer? The answer is 3xy, correct. So since they are all similar, the three terms are similar, we just add their coefficients. 9 plus 2, 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, xy. And annex the variables x and y. How about number 3, negative 3, quantity a plus b plus 5 times the quantity 2 plus 2 pips b. Okay, what's your answer? The answer is, for number 3, the answer is negative 3a minus b plus 10. Okay. Next, for number 4 and 5, simplify. All variables represent non-negative numbers. So what's your answer for that? Number 1 and number 4, square root of 96 is what? 4 square root of 6. So last time we learned how to simplify radicals. So for 96, we're going to factor it. That's equal to 16 times 6. So square root of 16 times square root of 6 is 4 square root of 6. How about in number 5? 9 is an even number, so it means you factor it. X to the 8 and x. So then just divide the exponents here by the index 2. So x to the 4th, y to the 5th times the square root of x is the answer. And in this, let us first simplify the denominator. Square root of 81 is 9. Then 72 can be factored. 36 times 2. Also with a to the 5th power, a to the 4th times a. So we have 6a squared square root of square root of 2a over 9. 2a squared square root of 2a over 3. Yes, because ayaw nga pala, no? Sa denominator 9 kasi dito naman 6 over 9 is 2/3. So ano lang, reduce to lowest terms. Okay. So in this topic, students understand and use such operations as taking the opposite, finding the reciprocal, taking a root, and raising to a fractional power. They understand and use the rules of exponents. So for our vocabulary, we have like radicals. So square root expressions with the same radicand are examples of like radicals. So we have here like radicals: 2 square root of 5 and 4 square root of 5, 6 square root of x and negative 2 square root of x, 3 square root of 40 and square root of 40. So since they have the same radicand as well as same index, right? So they are what we call like radicals. Unlike radicals, 2 and square root of 15, 6 square root of x and square root of 6x, 3 square root of 2 and 2 square root of 3. They have different radicands, although same index but different radicands, so they are unlike radicals. So like radicals can be combined by adding or subtracting. You can use the distributive property to show this, to show how this is done. So example, 2 square root of 5 plus 4 square root of 5. Okay, these two addends are like radicals. They have the same. Okay, they have the same radicands and the same index. So we'll just add their coefficients 2 and 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6 square root of 5. Another 6 square root of x minus 2 square root of x. Okay, these are two like radicals, so we just subtract their coefficients 6 and 2. 6 minus 2 is 4 square root of x. 4 is, okay, 6 minus 2 is 4. Then annex the radical. So notice that you can combine like radicals by adding or subtracting the numbers multiplied by the radical and keeping the radical the same. So it's just the same as adding and subtracting similar terms in algebra. Okay, so a helpful hint, combining like radicals is similar to combining like terms. Okay, that's what I told you a while back. 2 square root of 5 plus 4 square root of 5 is 6 square root of 5. 2x plus 4x is 6x. Yun. Additional examples, adding and subtracting square root expressions. So add or subtract letter A, it's very easy, you can do it orally. What's your answer? Terms are like radicals, so subtract 9 and 4, 5 square root of 3 is the answer. Diba? And how about letter B? 6 square root of x plus 8 square root of 5. I think these are unlike radicals, so we cannot combine this, we cannot add, because they have different radicands. So they are what we call unlike radicals. So the answer is 6 square root of x plus 8 square root of y. Do not combine anymore. Okay, other subtract for letter C, square root of m minus 7 square root of m. So that means they are like radicals. So subtract 1 minus 7 is negative 6. Negative 6 square root of m. And in letter D, only two addends are similar, so we'll just add 2 and 9, that's 11 square root of xy, plus adding the unlike radical, which is 2 square root of y. So the answer is 11 square root of xy plus 2 square root of y. Other subtract 5 square root of 7 minus 6 square root of 7, like radicals yan. Subtract 5 minus 6, that is negative 1. Negative square root of 7. Negative 1 square root of 7 can simply be written as negative square root of 7. And in letter B, 8 square root of 3 minus 5 square root of 3. Just subtract 8 and 5 square root of 3. That is what? 3 square root of 3. Oh, it's easy, right? It's like adding and subtracting. Yes, similar terms in algebra. Another C, 4 square root of n plus 4 square root of n. Just add 4 and 4 because they are like radicals. 8 square root of n is the answer. So the terms are like radicals, then combine like radicals. 8 square root of n. Square root of 2s minus square root of 5s plus 9 square root of 5s. Only two terms can be added here. They are like radicals. Wait. Yes, correct. Ito lang yung add natin. Negative 1 plus 9. Bale 8. And to be added by square root of 2s. Negative 1 plus 8 is, negative 1 plus 9 is 8. So the answer is square root of 2s plus 8 square root of 5s. Okay, we cannot anymore add this because they are unlike radicals. So identify like radicals, only these two are like radicals. So you add their coefficients. Negative 1 plus 9 is 8. So sometimes radicals do not appear to be like until they are simplified. Simplify all radicals in an expression before trying to identify like radicals. So simplify each expression. All variables represent non-negative numbers. So square root of 45 minus square root of 20. So it appears that they are unlike radicals. But if we're going to simplify this, we can be able to show that they are like radicals. So for 45, factor natin yan, 9 times 5, diba? 9 times 5. Yung 20, 4 times 5. So we have factor the radicands using perfect square. So for 45, 9 times 5, square root of minus square root of 4 times 5 is a 20. Then product property of square roots. Okay. If we have here square root of 9 times 5, that means square root of 9 times square root of 5. Minus, if we have here square root of 4 times 5, that means square root of 4 times square root of 5. So what is square root of 9? Let us now simplify. 3 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 5. Yeah, square root of 4 is 2. So they are now like radicals. So what is 3 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 5? Okay, the answer is square root of 5. Simply square root of 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1 times square root of 5 is square root of 5. Simplify each expression. All variables represent non-negative numbers. 9 square root of 75 plus 2 square root of 50. So it seems that they are unlike radicals, but let's try to factor 75 by, we have 25 times 3, but yung 50 naman 25 times 2. Yun. Okay, 75 is 3 times 25, yung 50 2 times 25. And by product property of square roots, we have here 9 times square root of 3 times square root of 25 plus 2 times square root of 2 times square root of 25. Yung square root of 25, that is equal to 5, so multiply mo sa 9. 9 times 5, 45. Dito naman 5 times 2, 10. So the answer is 45 square root of 3 plus 10 square root of 2. So the terms are unlike radicals, so do not combine anymore. Yes, because they do not have the same radicand. Ito yung 3, yung 2 naman. So this is now the final answer. 45 square root of 3 plus 10 square root of 2. How about letter C, example 2C? Simplify each expression. All variables represent non-negative numbers. Square root of 75y minus 2 square root of 27y plus square root of 48y. Let us factor the radicands using perfect square. For 75y, we have 25 times 3y. For 27y, 9 times 3y. For 48y, 16 times 3y. Okay, I think we will obtain like radicals here. We have the same radicand 3y, so that we can now factor by product property of square roots. Okay, square root of 25 times square root of 3y minus 2 times square root of 9 times square root of 3y plus 6 square root of 16 plus square root of 3y. Then simplify. What is square root of 25? 5 square root of 3y minus square root of 9 is 3 times 2 is 6 square root of 3y plus square root of 16 is 4 square root of 3y. Okay, so the terms are like radicals now, so we can now add or subtract the coefficients. 5 minus 6, negative 1 plus 4 is 3. 3 square root of 3y. Combine like radicals. 3 square root of 3y is the final answer. So always remember, when you write a radicand as a product, make at least one factor a perfect square. Check it out. Okay, simplify each expression. What is square root of 54 plus square root of 24? Okay, we cannot just add this if they are unlike radicals. So let us try to make them like radicals by factoring. Factor the radicands using perfect square. For 54, 9 times 6. For 24, 4 times 6. By product property of square roots, we have square root of 9 times square root of 6 plus square root of 4 times square root of 6. And let us now simplify. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 6, square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 6. Then let us now combine the like radicals. Then by adding the coefficients, 3 plus 2 is 5 square root of 6. Another Simplify each expression. 4 square root of 27 minus square root of 18. Okay, let us factor the radicals using perfect square. 4 square root of 27, 9 times 3. 4 square root of 18, 9 times 2. Then product property of square roots. 4 times square root of 9 times square root of 3 minus square root of 9 times square root of 2. Then simplify. 4 times 3 times square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 9 is 3. So let us now multiply 4 times 3. That's 12. 12 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 2. So the terms are unlike radicals, so do not combine anymore. You see the radicand for this is 3 and this is 2 for the radicand, so they are unlike radicals, so do not combine it. Hit next. Square root of 12y plus square root of 27y. Factor the radicands using perfect squares. Square root of square root of 4 times 3y. Yung 7y, square root of 9 times 3y. By product property of square roots. Square root of 4 times square root of 3y plus square root of 9 times square root of 3y. That means, let us simplify 2 square root of 3y plus 3 square root of 3y. Then, let us now combine like radicals. They are like radicals, so we will add the coefficients. 2 plus 3 is 5. Square root of 3y is the answer. Okay, additional example, geometry application. Find the perimeter of the triangle. Give the answer as a radical expression in simplest form. So we have here a triangle in the figure given. The sides are 10 millimeters, 13 square root of 5 millimeters, and 3 square root of 20 millimeters. So how do we find its perimeter? We just add the 3 sides, the length of the 3 sides. So write an expression for perimeter. So we just add the 3 sides, 10 plus 13 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 20. And then factor 20 using perfect square, that is 4 times 5. Yon. And by product property of square roots, we can rewrite 3 times square root of 4 times square root of 5. Square root of 4 is 2, so you multiply it by 3. Here. So let us now add 10 plus 13 square root of 5 plus 6 square root of 5. Okay, there are 2 terms that can be added only because they are like radicals here. So we just add 13 plus 6, 19. So the answer is 10 plus 19 square root of 5. You cannot add 10 and 19 because yung 19 it is attached to square root of 5. So this is now the final answer. With the perimeter is 10 plus 19 square root of 5 millimeters. Okay, you can also get the equivalent decimal number by using your calculator. Yes. Another example application. Find the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 2 square root of b inches and whose width is 3 square root of b inches. Give your answer as a radical expression in simplest form. So the length is 2 square root of b, the width is 3 square root of b. What are we going to find? Find the perimeter. What's the formula for perimeter? 2 times the quantity length plus width. So you add the length and width times 2. Yun, 2 times 3 square root of b plus 2 square root of b. So first let us add inside the parentheses, or let us first multiply each term by 2 by distributive property multiplication. 2 times 3 square root of b plus 2 times 2 square root of b. Simplify. 2 times 3 is 6 square root of b plus 4 square root of b. That is combining like terms. Just add 6 and 4. 10 square root of b is the what? The perimeter of the rectangle. Yes. Perimeter is 10 square root of b inches. So for our quiz part 1, subtract the following 1 to 3 and simplify each expression for number 4 and 5. So I need your solution for this. Okay, I'll just provide the answer. For number 1, 40 square root of 6. For number 2, 3 square root of x plus 3 square root of 3x. You cannot combine that anymore. They are unlike radicals. For number 3, negative 3 square root of 11y minus 12 square root of 10y. For number 4, We have 3 square root of 2. Okay, show the solution. How did we get 3 square root of 2? How about number 5? 16 square root of 3yz plus 21 square root of 2yz. Okay, that's your quiz part 1. You can screenshot on this part and then show the solution. Okay, the answer is already provided. Number 6, find the perimeter of a trapezoid. Give the answer as a radical expression in simplest form. So to find the perimeter, we just add the 4 sides. 2 feet plus square root of 54 feet plus square root of 54 feet plus 2 square root of 24 feet. And then the final answer is 10 square root of 6 plus 2 feet. Okay, show me the solution. So that ends our discussion on addition and subtraction of radicals. Our next lesson will be how to multiply and divide radicals. Goodbye, see you.